What's going on, guys? Connor here, and we're gonna do like a hot stock recap, specifically on the stock DCTH. And I want to kind of go over why this thing made such big moves. I'm sure tons of you heard about it on Facebook or just noticed it happening live intraday. Maybe if you weren't trading that day or you were busy, you heard about it afterwards. But let's go ahead and talk about this for a second. Okay, I called this stock out in my chat room to a few of the members right before it made its big move up. I actually called it out right on this candle saying DCTH is about to make moves. Look at it, look at it, look at it. You know, it's about to make a huge move. And sure enough, when I called it out, it ended up making a move of 41%. So phenomenal to whoever caught this trade. I know there was tons of success stories on who caught it. I wasn't actually trading, unfortunately, but it is what it is, right? Like I always say, there's going to be plenty of moves like this in the future. So don't don't put yourself down or be too sad that you missed a play like this. It is what it is. And actually, one of my friends ended up capitalizing about $1,000 on this trade. So good job for him. So let's go into why it made some of the moves it did and why it was so popular. Okay, so there was tons of volume. I think this thing actually reached like a billion shares traded. Not yesterday. I think it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday of this week that the stock made a bunch of moves. So for one, we had tons of volume. Two, I think some news broke that they were, I don't know, maybe I think it was they were not going to do a reverse split. Or they're going to postpone that. I don't think they were going to do one of the reverse splits or something like that. Not too sure. I wasn't paying attention to the news too close, but there was some type of news out there. So that's one thing. Was there news backing the move? Is there tons of volume, right? So there's tons and tons of volume. But let's go in to really where I saw that this stock was about to make a big jump. So where I have this red line drawn, this was the pre-market high going into the trading day. Initially, once the market opened, we had a jump up. We had a jump up of about, what was that, almost 20% right out of the gate, and that set the intraday high. But the intraday high was about the same price as the pre-market high, if not almost the same. So it peaked out right at about the market or pre-market high. It saw a little bit of resistance. So then it sold down, and it started following this 9-day moving average, okay? And I noticed it right here. I was watching it. Didn't want to play the morning. Oh, I wasn't trading, but I wouldn't have played the morning. I would have waited for some consolidation, which is exactly what you got in this area by my cursor. A bunch of consolidation backed by a lot of volume. And then I called out the stock right here on this candle, and I said, hey guys, DCTH is about to make a huge move. And sure enough, it did. And so we call like a little short squeeze it up, and then obviously you get this huge sell-off, okay? But let's go into it. So the pre-market high was right here. I draw this line, morning bell opens, you get a spike up to this, the pre-market high, then you get some resistance and some consolidation, okay? And I've seen this pattern before, that's why I could call it out so easy, and the fact that it had tons of volume made it even easier. So right here, I called it out on this candle. And the reason I did that is because it was following the 9 moving average, basically just consolidating. And I said, hey, this thing's going to make some serious moves on this candle. If I were trading, I would have loaded up a bunch of shares. And why is that? Because this was about to break its previous high and its intraday high. Sure enough, we get the breakthrough, and then we just skyrocket up. Now, the reason I would have loaded up shares here is because it's backed by a lot of volume. The stock is starting to turn very bullish. We didn't really get much sell-off here. It was basically just a sideways consolidation. And none of the candles broke below its, big move right here. None of them broke below that. So it was holding a nice support right there. Until right here, obviously, it did break through, but then we went quickly right back up. We had a nice doji there. So more consolidation within that candle. And then as soon as we got the broke up, we skyrocketed up. And as soon as this move happened, you can see the volume increases, the MACD starts to separate. Now, these were people just all jumping in and riding the momentum up and pushing the price higher and higher. Okay, And you can also look at your level 2, and your level 2 would basically tell you that the price is increasing. The bid consistently is going higher and higher and higher, reassuring you that the price is going to go up. Okay. Now, basically, DCTH had a ton of volume, and there was just tons and tons of buyers, and that's why I would have felt so comfortable hopping in right here, because, you know, it's about to break through its previous high and its intraday high. I would have been totally fine recognizing this bullish pattern starting to occur, sideways consolidation. I would have just basically hopped in right here and put a short little tight stop in case, you know, the breakout fails and then we come back down. But considering the volume that this thing had, I was almost positive it wasn't going to come down. So I called it out in my chat room on this candle, and sure enough, it ended up skyrocketing up. You got a huge sell-off, and then one of my buddies who was actually at work this day, the one who made a couple thousand, or about 1,000, I told him that the next good time to get in on the stock is once it comes down. The volume weighted, this is a 10-day 1-minute chart, so it's not on here, but in the 1-day 1-minute chart, the volume weighted average price rested right at like 15 cents. I said, wait till the stock gets down to about 15 cents and then buy back in. He didn't listen. He actually got in a little bit later, and that's okay. But the stock never reached 15 cents. It reached about 16 cents, and then from there, it just went all the way up for a majority of the day until it sold off. Okay, so that's basically my little recap on the hot stock of the day. I hope you guys like it. I hope you kind of pick up some patterns there. When you're basically just looking at a breakout pattern, you need to have a lot of volume to back your, your play. You don't want to buy into a breakout when the volume is decreasing, because chances are it's not going to sustain and it'll be a false breakout. So I hope that one helps you guys. Sure enough, I'll make more of these videos, and as I go through them, you'll start to pick up the patterns more and more yourself. Until then, happy trading.